Hey everybody, welcome back to the Unmask Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Kaylee.
And today we're here at Groundwork Studios with the owners, Christian and Ryan.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Today's episode is going to be focusing on how mental health is more of a all-encompassing, holistic experience. You know, it's not just how you think, it's how you eat, it's how you move. And for a lot of us, when we don't know how to think through things, movement is the only way to really express our emotions, our feelings. I forgot what the word was called, but anyways, we'll move past that. Today we're here at Groundwork. If you could give us a little background about maybe what you guys represent, what you're trying to do, what sets you apart, what got you into it. Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So what got you into starting a fitness studio?
You want to... Christian came to me with the idea very first, so I'll let him speak.
So essentially, I started my fitness journey as a client of a personal trainer who just so happens to be this person sitting next to me. And after I started training, I really just got into fitness, and mainly because of what impact it had on my mental health. Truly, I was like, whoa, working out, pushing myself, moving my body, truly helped me kind of ground myself. And so I left a corporate job, became certified as a personal trainer, and then also started as a sped instructor at a local studio that used to exist here. And so did that. We worked together side by side as trainers for a long time. And I think we got to this place where we were me personally, I was I just want to open something. And I just really truly thought it was a pipe dream, and I'm no, that's never gonna happen. And after a series of events and just really identifying this need for something different in the fitness world here, somehow, some way, I came to him and I was can we just have to, it wasn't even and luckily it was at first I think it was are you sure we can do that? And again, after just a little series of events, it was oh no, this is exactly what we're supposed to do. And
let me stop you real quick.
Yeah.
Now that's so cool. You just for the fact that you were going and working out and you were feeling better, you decided to give it all up and focus on a path that is mainly involved in fitness. That's crazy. That's just the power of the endorphins and everything that releases, you know. And I say the same thing. If I miss the gym for a week or two, I am just intolerant of everything, and I'm just frazzled and going off. What about you?
Okay, so I can be the devil's advocate, or not devil's advocate, but I haven't been to the gym in 2 or 3 years.
Damn, girl.
I used to go every day, and it made
Don't
me
let other people know that. They're
Okay.
jealous.
First of all, I hope that when you edit these videos, you can do a zoom in on Ryan and I's face. But you said, I thought you were gonna say 2 to 3 weeks. Literally, I was
No,
when you
I
said years,
get
my mouth went
back.
this.
That's wild.
I need to get back.
Well, you're doing
but
something right.
Yeah.
I feel now I have naturally shed the weight, and now I just want to build the muscle back.
Yeah.
But I need to go for my mental health.
Yeah,
I know, because
absolutely.
it is such a huge thing just to get out. Not even your workout necessarily, just getting out of bed, going somewhere, coming home, and just feeling you accomplished something.
Right,
for
for
me
sure.
was always sometimes I wouldn't even work out. I would just go in the sauna because I wouldn't want to be there, but I'd be you know what, I'm gonna be here. Maybe I'll walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Honestly,
But at least I would go home and I'd be you know what, I did something today. So I need to go back.
So maybe you can
This is
share.
a wake up call.
So maybe you can share, what do you do instead of going to the gym for your physical outlet, of getting that frustration out, or not at all? You're pretty active, I'd say.
So I volunteer at an animal shelter, and I feel
Oh, there you
that
go.
it doesn't sound like much, but
I get on all fours and
It
I run
actually
around.
does sound
yes,
It is.
the
That's
labor
a lot.
of it
It's a lot.
is when
Yeah,
I noticed with me
absolutely.
losing weight and gaining some
Sweating
muscle.
it all out.
And so I think just the physical labor of it,
Yeah.
honestly. But that's what I do now for the physical and the mental health. I need to go back to the gym.
But I mean, that's a good reason to or it's a good example of that. You don't need the gym, but we do need physical exertion.
You need an
Right.
outlet.
You
Right.
need that physical outlet to get out that frustration, even if it's walking, running,
Yeah. any
yard
type of
work,
movement, yeah.
any kind of
yoga, anything.
cleaning the basement, whatever, that kind of stuff. Well, they don't have basements here.
And I think
the storage locker.
I think too that was kind of a driving force for why we opened in the first place, was like there's so much more to fitness than just lifting weights or just cardio. And so the elements of, you know, like stretch and meditation at the end and having that mindfulness piece was really important to us.
So yeah, why did you decide to incorporate that? Why is that important to you, the mindfulness? Because you do start and end your classes with a mindfulness exercise usually.
Yeah.
And that, I would say, really sets you apart from any other studio I've been to.
Right. Yeah. I
mean, personally, for me, I have battled anxiety my whole life. And I think it's really hard when you're in a fitness space. Everything is so secular. So like if you want to find mindfulness, you have to go to yoga. If you want to do strength, you're going to the gym. If you want something super intense, you have to do a HIIT class or spin class. And like, I think for us, it was like, wait, why? You know, not that you can get everything out of one class. I'm not saying that, but I do think that there's certain elements that we're just like, oh no, that's not for a high intensity class. And we were like, why can't we end our high intensity, like rhythm-based lifting class at like rhythm-based heavy weights, but why can't we end it with something that's like mindful, like whether people are lying down in shavasana, whether they're seated, like that's their time. It's 5 minutes to be mindful. And like truly, I think people don't understand, like I think for us, like leaving a high intensity class, you're like your nervous system is a little shot. And like while it is good for you to like be physically fit and to do things like that, your nervous system doesn't really know the difference. And so being able to take it back down into that grounding moment is just like showing your body like, oh, I can do stressful things, experience stressful things, but then also have the moment and be able to like unconsciously bring myself back to my body.
Yeah, and that's just as important as the rest of the workout. You know, you're learning these high intensity exercises, but also learning to just be present, to calm yourself down, to stretch before and after, because let's all be real, no one stretches. And if you do, it's probably because you had an injury.
No, it's true.
You already had an injury.
Right.
So it's really cool that you incorporate it to teach people, even if they do leave early and, you know, they don't understand it's for them, because people are so on the go, and our nervous system is charged and like on to the next thing, you know, it's just how society has built us. But it's all, you're actually scheduling in people's mindfulness time. And that's really cool. You know, it's like at this point, you're only cheating yourself because you have no excuse, because here's the time. And I really do like that about what you guys brought to the table, because you're saying, no, this is important. Learn it. I'm going to do it every class. You're going to learn it, or you're just going to get annoyed.
Well, and to your point too, like what's cool is there's a certain maybe clientele when you think of like a HIIT style training studio. You're like, okay, well, I'm going for the workout and the vibes and the music and all of that. And that's great. Like that brings them through the doors. But I remember like one of the first couple classes we taught when we went into the meditation, I remember people were like, oh, like this is different. And that was really cool. I loved to maybe that was the first time someone has done like a meditation of any kind. So it's cool to bridge the gap.
And meditation can be so intimidating for people that are busy and have lots of energy, because trust me, I will sit there, and when I started meditating the first time, I was like, I got to think of like 4 different things in different spaces so my brain stops and just is quiet. Like it was so crazy, and I was like, this is so much. And then the whole time you're just like, is it over yet? But learning also that meditation can be in movement. And sometimes you just need a couple minutes to go over what you just went through. And that itself is meditation, just being present and understanding and like learning and growing from your experiences.
And like releasing the expectation. Like I think another thing when people hear us say like time to meditate, like they think, oh my God, am I supposed to feel a certain way? Am I supposed to be doing this a certain way? And truly that meditation is just for you to find some stillness. And even if you spend the whole 5 minutes like redirecting your thoughts back to your breath or your body, like that is still the point of it. It might look different for somebody else, somebody who can like calm down quickly or can center their thoughts quickly. For some people, myself included, sometimes it's like I spend the whole 5 minutes like just thinking, and I'm like, wait, nope, I'm supposed to be breathing. Thinking. Oh no, I'm breathing. And then it's like, but that is meditation. That's really what it is.
You're
practice.
It is practice. It's not just gonna happen like right off the bat.
Especially in this day and age with constant just stimulus. Like
I was gonna say minds, the scrolling.
Our minds become that. You get so used to seeing a screen over and over something new, and it's overload like content. And then when you are trying to shut your mind off, you're like, oh, this is not how I'm practicing in my day-to-day, so this is
Right.
challenging.
No, exactly. And that's where a lot of people get confused. They're like, do I have ADHD? I was like, no, sometimes it's just a society problem that's taught you and is coding your nervous system to react and to jump and look for those dopamine hits because they're so quickly coming. When it comes to mental health, you know, neurodivergence or neurotypical, we can all exhibit the same type of symptoms, which are cured through the same type of routes. You know, is physical exertion, going for a walk, taking your mind out of what you're thinking about, you know, being able to exert that extra frustration, you know, specifically for me being ADHD, when I don't, I've noticed I just have this extra energy and it can pop off on anybody, you know. And sometimes when I do go to the gym, like this morning, I've just smooth, controlled energy throughout the day. I don't need as much caffeine. I'm just like steady. And that starts also with like the nutrition aspect of things. I don't know if you guys push nutrition as much, but we definitely talk about it a lot because, you know, for neurodivergent, especially ADHD and a lot of those different I don't want to say disorders, those different conditions, you're short in neurotransmitters. So we talk about high protein first thing in the morning to really get your energy going, not just fake sugars or carbs, just propping you up on like popsicle sticks. But I noticed that, sorry, I get a little, my brain goes so many different ways. I'm trying to like run it. So I'm like,
well, one thing I wanted to add was that trauma is stored in the body. So movement is so important for everyone. Everyone. Even if you're not looking to get like physically fit, everyone's got to move. Like you need to move.
I think too, like, sorry, to your point, like, sorry, I guess we're going back and forth anyways. To your point though, is we have kind of lost the whole purpose. I just take a bite. The whole purpose of again, like you said, movement, being active. We tie it to all of these like physical things, like all of these. Okay, well, if I move or if I work out, it means that I need to look a certain way and I need to gain muscle or lose body fat. And yes, like those can be goals, but I think at the core of it, like we just need to fucking move, truly. Like we just need to move. It's so much more than a physical thing. It's emotional, it's spiritual. It's like you were touching on earlier, there's mental health connected to that. It's everything, and it doesn't matter if you're lifting weights. I mean, yes, muscular,
even dancing,
that makes sense, but
like we've all been to the raves, and I mean, how therapeutic and how like church moment is that? It's like, wow, I needed this. You needed to just drain yourself and then fill yourself with good energy, and it's like, everything's
flowing, all that stagnant energy.
And that's what I was saying. And that's what I was saying. It doesn't have to be working out. It could be dancing by yourself or going dancing on the weekends. Like they were saying, people that go to festivals and stuff live like 3 to 5 years longer because you're allowed to de-stress. You know, stress is toxic, and we build that up. Like you said, the trauma that we build up in our bodies. Like I was saying earlier, we don't always know how to process that, so it comes out when we start doing yoga or breath work or just doing our own like working out in which you're meditating through movement. You know, that's how I meditate, is like when I'm working out by myself, that's all I'm doing is thinking, and it's just like your brain gets better at what you're thinking about. It's like, oh, life isn't crumbling down around me. I got this.
I like to do that on the treadmill where like I just like dissociate and just kind of meditate, and then next thing you know, it's been 30 minutes and I'm like, oh, easy. Okay.
So quick. But that was leading me back into the negative toxic points of like working out in the world or in society. You know, as you touched on, we should do it for our mental health, our physical health, but we do get slighted by trying to compare ourselves to everyone. You know, we see all these perfect bodies, especially with the prevalence of TRT and anabolics these days. You know, a lot of people are even comparing themselves more, I see, and they're just so confused because they're like, why can't I look like that? Why can't I be like that? It's like, well, if you want to do what it takes to get there, you could, but I don't think you do. You know, and it's a lot like, are we doing this to compare ourselves to others, to outshine for our ego, or are we really doing this for our own sake? You know, and not saying that TRT and anabolics are only for other people. You can do it for yourself. Like we're going to have this one on Monday that we're going to talk with he's a med spa owner, and you know, he invented the P shot, the girth shot, you know what I mean? And we're going to talk about body aesthetics, you know, what's personal, what you're doing for others, and the psychology behind that. You know, but this leans into it the same way. It's a great leeway. Like what we do showing up, are we doing it for us? Are we doing it for attention? Like It really stems.
We kind of just had this conversation last week a little bit. I think so often when you go into fitness studios, like people are looking for that external validation a lot. Like you're looking to the person next to you, you're looking to your instructor to really get that validation. And I think something that's really special about Groundwork essentially is like this community is so supportive of each other that
It's so green. As long as it's green.
I just felt myself present and I was like, oh. So yeah, I think we've really been able to create a community that just feels so supportive that it's not about comparison. It's not about looking for the external validation. It really truly is like, I'm doing this for me today. I'm doing this for me, for my mental health, because I want to feel good leaving here. I want to feel strong. I want to feel grounded. I want to feel clear. And I also want to be a part of something that like lifts other people up. Because like at the end of the day, like you are doing this for you. And I think we talked about it a lot in class, but like part of that is just like filling somebody else's cup can look like external validation. Like you're looking to someone else, so you're pouring into them like, I need this from you, I need this validation. Where it's like if we just release some of that expectation and that need for the validation, then we would be able to just like ground down and start doing things from a more like authentic.
And I think too that comes like why we are passionate about that is because we've been there in situations where there is comparison at the top of our mind, where you know we are doing stuff. I mean, I can speak for myself, like trying to have a certain body type or a certain amount of muscle. I'm not even checking in with what like resonates with me and like what makes sense for my body type. I'm just thinking about others. Like I see other people in the fitness space doing this. This is what is attractive. So that's what I want to obtain. And so kind of peeling back those layers of expectations and like, you know, what Christian was saying is creating a space, trying to, you know, get that across to other people. Like this isn't for anybody else. And like, honestly, what do you want out of your life in general, but out of fitness, out of your health? Like, you know, because we've seen so many people that want to be, okay, well, I want to look skinnier, like whatever I want to have bigger arms. And it's like, okay, that's great. But does that, where is that coming from? And that's fine if that's what you want. But I just mean like, is that coming from a place of comparison or is it truly,
I would say it's pretty crazy. Like even just from where we started to where we are now. I don't hear any conversations like we used to both be personal trainers. So many of the conversations were about, I want to lose body fat, I want to gain muscle, I want to do this. And like there was a little bit of that when we first opened Groundwork. Like, how long is it going to take me to lose 10 pounds? Like, or how long until I'll see like difference in my muscles? And I'm like, I mean, we have like quadruple the amount of people coming through the door now than we did 2 years ago. And like, I don't hear anybody ever really talking about like people have had amazing transformations.
It's crazy.
Don't get me wrong, people look amazing.
We don't ever do before and after photos, but I see these members, I'm like,
juicy peaches and biceps everywhere, but like no one's talking about it. It's not the reason they're coming. It's not. They're like just coming because it feels good, and they're like, oh, I'm stronger and I feel good, and I love these people that I'm working out with. It's not like, oh, my waist is smaller now, so thank you, Groundwork.
Right. I'll pay for one more month.
One
month for 1 inch. Yeah.
Right. There's so much toxic gym culture, especially like online, all these fitness creators. And so what would you guys tell someone that has maybe gym anxiety, maybe they're insecure and they want to go to the gym, but they just don't know where to start, how to, like, what would you tell them?
Come if you lived in Phoenix area, we would love to meet you, Arizona. But I think just kind of what we were touching on earlier with simplifying it, because to your point with TikTok, social media, sometimes I make jokes in class, and I know ever TikTok creators, I can't imagine there's so much that goes into that. So I will say that, but when I do like a core move, and I'm like, oh, like this is such a TikTok move because there's like so much going on, and I'm like, honestly, it is just simple. Like start small, like even if it's going to a studio, coming to Groundwork, that would be great, like once a week, whatever, but just simplifying that mindset around, okay, if I'm doing nothing right now for my physical health, like, or my mental health, how can I implement something?
Yeah, like just get 1% better.
Yes,
just 1%.
exactly.
That's it. And then every day, next thing you know, it's 100%.
Yeah, because we all, again, like diet culture, we fall into these, I mean, early 2000s was so toxic with diet culture. It was like, all right, I want to lose 30 pounds in one day. And like, I need to starve myself.
I mean, everyone just...
Jenny Craig.
So many magazines are like, 10 pounds in 10 days.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit. If somebody lost 10 pounds in 10 days, like,
or they'll
I don't
show
wanna
like
know
a
how.
perfectly
really
normal
don't.
person and be like
Britney Spears.
grossly overweight,
Yeah.
obese, and you're like,
Do you guys remember the Jessica Simpson when she had the high-waisted pants? That was like, I'm like, she looks
or Lady
great.
Gaga.
Yes.
This was like not even 10 years
I know,
ago.
that was when she did Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah,
She
being
had
a
a-
young
She
girl.
looks chunky.
Yes, I would be like,
Correct.
wait,
It's
what?
literally a size 4.
But now everybody has Ozempic, so
I know.
I don't think the human need for a quick fix has changed. I think we are more living maybe a more authentic personality now, or authentic life. So I feel like instead of people coming to fit in, you know, those people are just going to go the quickest route, which is no longer
Right.
working out. You know, it isn't. And it's more people who want to become who they see themselves on the inside, I feel. You know, it's not complaining, it's I'm becoming, I'm growing, I'm coming up. And I feel like that's at least the mentality a lot of people I think maybe have started to take. At least I hope, you know, but a lot of people also get quiet and you see everyone on Ozempic. So
I think too, like going back to even
not that that's cheating. No, I'm not
Actually,
like I'm
yeah,
not
need Ozempic, yeah.
yeah, but it's like people are abusing it and you see it wasting away their eyeballs and their brain and everything. It's like with anything, a quick fix.
Sunken in.
Yeah, a quick fix always comes with some kind of repercussion.
And I think too, even just going back to the food of it all is like, I mean, I know for me, and I can probably speak to a little bit of Ryan as well, but we both have throughout our entire lives have dealt with like our relationship to food.
Mhm.
Whether it's, you know, not having enough muscle, too much muscle, abs, like so many things have affected throughout my life of like how I view my relationship with food. And at the end of the day, I mean, it wasn't until recently, honestly, that I was like, oh, I literally just need to eat for what I feel that day. And I think that too many times we're like, I need to hit, while there is science, absolutely, behind how many calories your specific body is burning, how much protein is like ideal for you. I think once you get into this routine and you have a workout schedule, you know when you're working, what your work looks like, you know, I'm hungry, I'm not hungry.
I call it like intuitive eating. That's how
Yes,
I
intuitive eating. That's how I eat too.
What it is, and like I think we attach ourselves to these numbers, whether it's on a scale or I need 150 grams of protein, I need to eat 2,500 calories today. Like that is only adding to this idea that we're being overstimulated. And so I think that when you can just really be in tune with your body and say, okay, I took a spin class, I'm not as hungry as I normally am, so why would I eat 1,000-calorie meal? I'm hungry, but I'm not that hungry, so I'll eat, and then maybe in a couple hours I'm like, oh no, I could eat more. Instead of just forcing yourself to eat, or vice versa, maybe you don't work out that day, and you're like, I can't eat today. I'm not eating because I didn't work out. And it's like, but I need to hit this goal, so I'm just gonna eat anyway. And it's like this weird balance of trying to hit these different numbers and like
the number thing. I think so. I used to work for a weight loss clinic, and I was so against the way that they would do stuff because it was basically just like a starvation diet. And they're a huge company. I don't know how, like people would come in and be like, oh, I had to go to the ER last night because I passed out. And this would be like every day a new person. And the doctor would just be like, okay, well, we'll give you a shot. Just eat an apple a day for 5 days, and then you'll get over your plateau.
your plateau
And
is
then we're
crazy.
wondering why they're passing out. And so that just opened my eyes to all this like counting calories, counting carbs, all micros, macros, like whatever.
It's kooky.
It causes an eating disorder. I think
Yeah.
it really
absolutely.
It can, yeah.
Mhm.
And I feel like the micros and the macros were kind of the new like calorie, like as far as obsession goes. And kind of like what you were saying earlier, like just now, is that like with eating too, it becomes so much more enjoyable when you're not obsessing over it. And even just from a perspective, okay, like when I'm eating, like I want to enjoy my food. Yeah, so you should have a balance. You should be able to enjoy foods and eat the things that you want, but also making sure that you're getting nutrients at the same time. So I'm super pro. Like if I know like, okay, well, you know what? I want to eat a cookie, or I want like pancakes, or I want a cheeseburger and French fries. Like I know, like, okay, well, I also want to make sure that I'm getting my nutrients for the day, but I'm like, I'm good. I can eat that, and that's okay. And like, if you're, especially too, like when you do move and you're using that as energy, like you don't, I don't know, really need to worry too much about.
And I think one thing that you said earlier too about working out and storing trauma, I think so much of our relationship with food does come from our emotions, whether it's anxiety or sadness or like all of these emotions are being then fueled by this need to eat or not eat in some cases. And I think when you're able to have some sort of movement routine, whether it's walking or yoga or fitness, like that's when you can get that energy out, and then your ability to then actually intuitively it becomes so much clearer because you're like, I expended that energy, that emotional energy that I'm storing, it's out, and now I can see clearly, oh, I'm not craving a cookie right now, but I do want to eat a cookie, so I'm not going to eat 10 of them because I'm not eating it because I'm anxious or sad. I'm eating it because it tastes good and I want to eat it right now. And that anxiety or that sadness isn't like making me feel like I have to have 10 of them. I'm just going to eat one. Like that's kind of where that science comes in around like the emotional eating aspect of it all, and then being able to move through those emotions for movement.
Yeah, I know for me, I used to, so when I was working at the weight loss place, they wanted us to also follow their like weird diets and supplements and stuff.
They're like,
and
don't eat.
No, literally. And
you come in with a string cheese and it's like in your pocket.
Oh no, that wasn't allowed. Cheese is not allowed. So
they're like, call up Jenny.
Fruit wasn't even allowed because it has too much sugar. And so I like started having like these thoughts where one day I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm on the verge of an eating disorder right now, simply because then I would starve myself, eat all these laxatives, all this crazy stuff, and then I would just binge eat because I'd be like, oh, I ate a cookie, I ruined it, screw it, let me eat 12. And whereas if I would have just said, oh, I can have a cookie, like, duh, eat one, I'm satisfied, I'm good, I'm happy, I didn't binge eat. So there's so much mental that goes into that.
It's like that reward punishment type of vibe where like that goes back to just like that early 2000s, like, oh, I ate a cookie so now I have to run 16 miles, or I ran 16 miles so now I can eat a whole cake to myself. And it's like, we're not doing this for rewards or validate, like it's like, what do you feel? What does your body feel?
We just want to feel good. That should be the main goal, really, is do you physically feel good, mentally feel good?
Do you look how you want to? I feel like it all goes into it, but it should be healthfully respectful to you. You know, if it's detrimental to your health, maybe you should talk to somebody about it. You know what I mean? Obviously, you should talk to somebody about it. But it's like a lot of those places, you don't know you're there until you're there. Until you're not there anymore, and you're like, oh wow, I was on the verge then, and luckily I came about it. So it's like also knowing that, you know, we need so many calories to live, but we should be getting our macros. I think that's a good way to, instead of just like, oh, I can only have 100 calories. At least you're getting your protein, you're getting nutrition. You're not just getting Diet Coke or something like that. You know, and filling up on that. So I think people are more healthfully, at least in that way, or more self-conscious of what they're putting in and how they are and the detriment it does when you do starve yourself.
I think that goes back to even what you said in the beginning of like approaching fitness and health from a holistic standpoint, because truly like when you divide all of these things up, then people become hyper-focused in a way that's like you're not able to bring it all together and then realize like why you're doing it to begin with.
Exactly.
If you look at it from a holistic standpoint, then it just goes back to the idea that like I really am doing this to feel better. It's
a lifestyle, all-encompassing, you know? It's not just like, I need to hit yoga to do this. I need to hit the gym to build my muscle. I need to hit the smoothie shop for breakfast. I need to do this.
It's not a checklist.
It's like people, I feel like, make it a checklist. Even I'm guilty of doing so. Until you like really learn that relationship with why you're doing it. It's like, you know, I'm going to the gym 5 days a week, 6 days a week, and I'm not any happier. If anything, I hate the gym. But now I'm like switching it up. Today I go on a hike, or I go bike, or, you know, do something, or like go work at the dog shelter. Like that's it. That's an activity, and it helps really prevent burnout.
Go on a hike, anything that fits your lifestyle, make it work.
And you really should enjoy it. Like, of course, working out and challenging yourself in any way, like, there's elements can be uncomfortable, but you should enjoy to some degree what you're doing. I think what's so cool is with our classes, like yeah, I think the retention, obviously there's community and like the coaching and all of that, but I think at the end of the day, people are just having a good time, like moving their bodies. And
Well, I love the fact that you mentioned community, because in like a typical gym setting, I feel like it's very intimidating for a lot of people. There's not a lot of community, and it's very cliquey, a lot of judginess. And so I love the environment that you guys have created. It's like a very safe, just family, just comfortable environment.
And I was going to add earlier on the whole comfortability. You guys, your workout rooms are like a club. It's dark. It's like you can see the figure of the person next to you. You can't really make out too much. You can kind of see yourself in the mirror to know you're doing right. But it's like you can't like just stare at people.
No
like,
spotlight.
you know, I love it how it really makes it a group class that's almost individual. You know, and it's like I'm here with a community, but you can't really see each other, so it doesn't matter how everybody looks. You know, you're not comparing yourself how they're doing or how you're doing. You're like, oh, I can see the leader or the coach, and like let's just keep up with that. So I really like that. And plus it's like a whole club too with the EDM and house music you guys play. So it literally makes you want to, it just feels like you're putting dance into workout movements almost, you know, that you're moving with the beat, with the rhythm, that it doesn't even feel like a working out, you know, it's just like an outlet.
It's funny you said that too, because when we were opening and wanted like that, you know, the vibes of kind of spin, like what spin classes here we're doing, and then we wanted to integrate it with lift. I didn't even really realize that there's also a comfortability with that like darkness and not having these bright lights. Like, I don't know. I think moody light setting anywhere is always great. It's so much more comfortable.
Overhead lighting.
Like, all of these LED lights, I'm like, it's like we come from candlelit, you know, like that's what we are evolving from. And so I think that's what just feels better. And then you just get with the lights and the music. It's fun, but it is also more.
It's a whole environment. It's a whole event.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I feel like one of the biggest reasons that I think people have gym insecurity is because they don't want everyone looking at them and staring. And so when the lights are dim, the music's loud, that really just takes off the pressure of, is everyone staring at me? Are people judging me? So I love that.
Yeah, like making it dark. I wasn't even able to do so because I tried to innately just look at it like, oh, and I'm like, oh, you can't even see anybody, so stop.
Exactly.
But I love that, and it's really showing a more, like I said, holistic aspect to physical working out and stuff like that, because it used to be so just in the physical realm of how do I look, how am I perceived, and now it's like I'm doing it for me, I'm doing it for my health, I'm doing it for my happiness. And a lot of people, you know, a lot of guys that do work out are like, this is my therapy. You know?
Yeah, you hear that so much by so many guys.
Especially straight men, you know. I don't know, I don't want to talk about it, but I'll lift through it.
But
you know, but it is, and like having these kind of things facilitates another step in that. You know, that people already do this, so why not we help them along in the process?
Exactly.
You know, and I love to see that. We're adding more mental health specs all around, you know, our society, because it's so needed. And in this day and age, we're seeing that everybody needs something. You know, no one's perfect. Everyone's got trauma in some way. Everyone is struggling in some way or another. You know, so we really need to continue to build that community of a safe space for all just to be a part of, you know. Even if you don't want to talk about it, you can come and work your things through it alongside somebody, you know. And nothing has to be said, but a lot of effect can be had. You know?
I have a question. So with so much information overload when it comes to fitness and health, what would be some advice that you would give to someone just starting out that doesn't know really anything about that? Where would you guide them to kind of just get their foot in the door?
I think if there's somebody that's on social media, like if I just had to like go back to like when I first started, like I think keeping it simple, like so simple, like don't worry about lifting 400-pound deadlifts and squatting 300 pounds and doing like truly, like if you're gonna use social media as a tool, like search dumbbell workout, like dumbbell leg workout, dumbbell upper body workout, and just start there. Like literally start there. You can do that at home. You can do that at the gym. And like, I mean, truthfully, dumbbells that's why I feel like one, like equipment, obviously in a big space like this easy to do dumbbells, but like there's so many things you can do with dumbbells.
Even if you can't get dumbbells, there's bands.
Body
Right.
weights,
You know, bands are so
yeah.
cheap.
Soup cans.
Yeah.
Back when
Yeah.
I was so broke, I would literally like do lunges around my house with soup cans.
Yeah,
I used to do it with gallons of water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get a booty band and do walks around your house the whole day. You know,
That's what I
like
was saying. Like
Yeah.
less is more.
you'll have a fat
sometimes.
ass in a week.
It is. Less
Yeah.
is yeah.
We're taught that we need things to produce or to act.
Right.
And, you
Yeah.
know, we really don't. All we need is the intention and like the presence of like showing up and getting it done and say, I'm gonna get it done whatever way
Yeah.
possible. You know, it's like I said, like even in this podcasting and stuff, everyone thinks, you know, before we start, like opening up a business, you're like, I
Yeah.
need this and I need this and I have to have the shoes and I have to have
You
the
just
look
have to
and
go
I have
for
to have
it.
this. It's like, no,
just
you just
for
have
it.
to have the attitude and go.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
it all evolves, it snowballs.
Yeah.
You know, it just keeps going and you get better and you get more confident. And then it's just like, oh, I don't need any of that. And now I can do all this stuff. Look at this person. I'm so much like
Right.
I'm so much
Yeah.
further ahead now. You know, and it,
Right.
just when you believe in yourself and just act on it, you know.
Yeah.
We gotta act on trying to feel better. We can't feel better to act. You know, or wait to feel better to act, right?
Yeah.
I get stuck in that where I'm like, no, I can't do anything until I feel good. But
No,
yeah, sometimes you have to make yourself feel
Exactly.
good.
You get up, you
Yeah.
get up and go push yourself. You're
You'll
like,
be waiting.
Oh my God,
You'll just be
I-
waiting.
Right.
Do I feel better
Absolutely.
now? Do I feel better?
Right.
You know, and it's
Exactly.
like,
I'll feel better tomorrow, right?
Right.
Yeah.
3 years later. But I'm gonna go back. This
Yeah.
has inspired me. I will be back.
I know.
We'll get you booked in a class before
Yeah.
you leave today.
Yeah, I was just telling her I did
Um,
that when you guys first opened,
Yeah.
and I lived 30 minutes away. That's why I didn't continue, but I showed up as much as I could.
Yeah.
And it was worth
Yeah.
the drive. Like
Yeah.
I loved it so much. It was so much
Yeah.
fun. It was like a party. You're just in your own little world, even though you're crammed in there. But it's enough space. You know,
Yeah.
there's all these people in this space, and it's like
Yeah.
you have just your space, and it made it really cool. It's like
Yeah.
you don't need extra this, that. You know,
Yeah.
just show up and be a part of something, and more than
Yeah.
yourself, and it just you'll be brought with it. You know.
And that room when we first opened was a lot smaller too. We have where we do
Oh,
live
you-
now is next door.
Oh, all
and
right.
it's like
yeah.
But I was
Double
actually,
the
it was
size.
admirable that you could do so much
right.
for so many
Yeah,
people
yeah,
in
yeah.
such a space.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, you don't need any more space than this, and it worked.
Yeah.
You know, it just worked.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where do you guys see the future of Groundwork going?
That's an ongoing
Yeah,
conversation.
that's
I feel
really
like.
ongoing. I
think-
mean,
Even
I'm
just like,
well,
what do you want to accomplish in the next year?
oh wow.
next year, okay.
Or
I mean, I
think-
loved watching we grew really fast too. So like we opened in June of 2023. By July of 2023, we said we're going to open a spin studio too. And so we started the negotiations for our space next door. So by, March of 2024, we had already opened the ride studio. And so it's really been just over 2 years, and we've opened 2 separate businesses. And I think just now, like we're feeling like we have like a handle on certain things and systems and processes.
you're
and,
experienced in the whole ownership
Yeah.
process.
yeah. And I think now, I mean, there's definitely ways that we want to expand our
Mhm.
brand, and we, my brain personally is going like a million miles a minute all the time, specifically with ideas on how to expand. And sometimes Ryan is like, can you like stop sending me text messages about like idea 147,000 today? But there is definitely like things that we want to do to expand our brand, whether it's other locations, whether it's expansion of modalities or sister brands and things like that, whether it's apparel. Like there are definitely a few avenues in which we're like trying to sort of like narrow down what our next step
Yeah,
will be,
you're along your
truly.
path and you're
Yeah.
walking with it, and you're showing up with every step along the way, and wherever it goes, you pivot along and you just keep continuing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure it sounds like you guys had it it wasn't too hard for you guys really to set this up. Was there any setbacks like that really prevented you
I
from
think-
like, that really was like, maybe this isn't worth it?
Oh.
And then you guys pushed through?
Yeah, I feel like I never felt, and I'm sure you felt this, like there was never a moment where we were like, oh, we shouldn't be doing this.
I love that.
But with that being said, we didn't have any investors, or it was just the 2 of us.
Yeah.
So when we opened, we kind of just took all of our savings, lots of credit card debt,
Right.
and then did a lot ourselves. Like this studio right here, everything painted in this room, all of the floors, we literally rolled out
Ryan
ourselves.
and I.
These floors are how
Yeah.
much a roll? How
500 pounds.
500 pounds a roll. Like, everything it took you guys, like,
I
still
that's
say
how
it
you're
was.
in shape.
I literally, I said the other
we're
day.
still in shape from the
Right.
opening.
I said to Luke, one of our front desk, I literally was like, no, I think if I had to look back on like the most physically exerting day of my entire life, it was the day we picked up the floors, and like me and Ryan literally
We loaded
rolled
them
the
to a
floors,
truck.
loaded them into a truck, then brought them here, unloaded. So with all that to say, there were definitely points in time where we were like blood, sweat, tears,
The, like,
like
legalities.
But I
of
think
all.
what it
Yeah.
shines on more so is you followed a passion.
Yes,
You followed what
yes.
path opened up along for you.
yeah,
You were present along the way, and you weren't going to let anyone change your ideas on it, you know, and you just pressed forward, you know,
Yeah.
and you just pivoted along the way, right? And it's really cool to see that you went with an idea, and instead of having investors come in and tell you how to run things, you're like, no, this is our embodiment. This is our ideology, our mindset that we want to share, our perspective we like to share. I think that's part of why you're so popular, like so quickly, you know, is the fact that you're speaking to everybody that wants this. You know, they don't even know they need it, but they do. And then they're like, oh, wait, this can be how it is. You know, it doesn't have to be a chore. It can be just a party.
Well, and to your point too, I think that was important for us to have our voice and our personality like behind our brand. And, you know, we like, I do a lot of our social media. We do a lot of our social media still because it's just important that I don't know if it'll be forever, but I do want, like, I always want this space to feel authentic to us. And going into this in the very beginning, it was great to have each other, to hold each other accountable. Just even like mental setbacks or like, again, not doubts, but just like, I'm fucking tired. This is all of our money, literally every penny we have, and then some, you know, and going into it, not knowing, like we were talking about, you guys starting the podcast, like not those unknown, like just barriers to starting something, anything, a business, a podcast, whatever it is. But when you have that passion, it really does drive you, and especially when you share it with somebody else, like even you guys, like it's
you
pretty
just figure it
fucking
out
cool.
together.
Yeah,
If there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah,
100%. Like,
and
if
when you
wanna,
know, you know.
Yeah,
like,
we got
if
to a
you
point
have
when you brought it up to me. I at first we always like, it's funny because at first I was there was like a lot of reasons, but I was just nervous and I think fearful of like, you know, taking that step. But then once I got my mind around, it was like, oh yeah,
understanding your confidence and that you can do this. Like you're like, I don't need help. I've figured it out because I've figured everything else along the way so far. And then it really drives you to just keep going. It's like, let's see how far we can go. What can't we do? You know, and I love that. And it's really the era of the heart-led entrepreneur, I feel. A lot of people are starting to build businesses for the sake of helping others and making the world a better place, more so than the greedy aspects of money.
Absolutely,
like even the people I follow to emulate and try to strive after that are already popular. That's what they're preaching. They're like, it's never about the money. I was like, I love hearing that people are doing it for the passion, their path, you know, they're driven. And it's so warming and heart, like this, what I started this, you know, and it's all cost until it becomes profit, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it's all a labor of love, right? And it's just, but there's no place else you'd rather be.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think that's one, we say that all the time. It's like, if we were in this for the money, then it would have been so easy to do things so differently. And but like, it really is about our community, even when it goes back to like the expansion of it all, of like growing our brand and expanding. Like, I always tell people, I'm like, I never want to be the person or the business owner that like lost sight of like why they started it to begin with. I think we start to build these expectations, especially if you're growing as a business, and whether it's in popularity or revenue, like you have all of these new expectations for what it should look like when you didn't have those expectations when it started. You didn't have all of this fluff and expectation when it started. So why does it exist now? And I think if you're able to just keep that in sight, then like the expansion will happen, or the growth of your brand will happen in the way that it's supposed to, not because of these like new expectations.
Yeah, it's the age-old story: stay true to yourself, don't sell out. Because when you sell out, that's when the energy falls out of it, you know, and that's when it loses its specialness. And you can tell when you sell, a company sells to somebody, you're like, oh, it's not nearly as good. It's, the specialness is gone, the love, the passion, it's all drained. It's like it's commercialized. And once you get that, you're like, it's like a hospital. I don't even want to be here. And it's just soul sucking, you know. And really here, what you're doing is pouring into people, you know, instead of just taking, like most businesses take, you know. So I really love that.
And I love the name Groundwork. I like that's such an inviting name for a gym. So many gyms are, like I kind of like said a couple times, are like very intimidating. And you walk in, and there's all these just like muscular dudes staring at you, and you're like,
lift, weight, or die.
Yeah.
Where did you come up with the name?
That was him.
I love it.
I think it was Groundwork with an O to begin with, but I think it really just came from the idea like what we wanted to, and like what I had initially thought of was just dumbbells and mats. And I think just like that idea of like, oh, you're starting at the ground, like you don't need all of these crazy equipment and moves, and like you can do so much with your body and create so much with just the dumbbells and the mat. And obviously we added the bench because it's just like a really great way to like just differentiate ourselves from other things that are in the market and other like styles of workouts. But like at the end of the day, it's like you're starting from the ground up, and you got to start somewhere. And so
I love that. I was thinking about working on grounding or something. Grounding yourself.
I mean, it definitely.
But that is so much better. That is really cool explanation and why you have it. Because really, you build yourself up from the ground up. And I like how you reemphasize, like, you don't need a gym or a membership to be fit or to be active. You know, dancing, bands, just hiking, dumbbells, hiking, swimming, biking. There's so much stuff you can do. Playing with your kids, you know, so much. It's just
into a sport, even as an adult.
It's about creating the routine, the discipline, you know, teaching yourself to show up, showing yourself what you can do. And I feel like that's where nutrition can fall better in line when you get that working out, because you're like, oh, I'm already motivated. I feel good. I'm going to keep this up. I'm disciplined here. I can tackle this. I don't need that whole cake. I can have that one cookie and be fine, because you're proving to yourself what you're capable of. And I love that part of fitness. You know, it really proves to yourself who you are. Ask you a couple random questions. Okay. Let's go with first. What is your favorite workout move and why?
I would say split squats.
Really?
Yeah.
Why so?
It's my favorite to teach, and also I like if I had to choose just like a one move for my like lower body that I would do all the time would be split squats, because it's like quads, hamstrings, and a lot of ass.
A lot of
ass.
A lot of peach.
I feel funny because mine also is a lower body, but I think RDLs are one of my very favorite. That or a single arm row, but probably RDLs.
Can you explain that for the people that might not know?
The Romanian deadlift. Slight bend in the knee, feet shoulder width. You're just doing the hinge. But it's great for your hamstrings.
I like that one too.
It's just a good like stretch, and I feel like especially if we sit a lot throughout the day, same with like a split squat, it's
Also to the split squat point of it all, like if you're just doing hip thrusts, you need to be doing RDLs or something for your hamstrings, because like your hamstrings are what holds your ass up. So like if you have a big ass and no hamstrings, it's just gonna kind of fall.
Okay.
Hamstrings are important.
So I need to start building my hammies. No, just
kidding. The hammies.
I feel like everyone works on their butt these days. It's like you look around, there's good butts everywhere. You're like,
that's the thing.
No one skips leg day anymore. And honestly, leg day is my favorite. Like I get the most jump and jolt of energy. I'm just like, I feel so powerful when your legs are like sturdy in your core. Like that's
you can
my
lift
favorite.
more too. You just feel strong.
Like doing core work. Core work is the biggest shocker, because all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, this isn't heavy. I'm so sturdy.
I know. It's absolutely.
I love it. Do you have a question?
I think I did, but it'll come back to me.
All right. If you guys weren't doing this, where do you think you'd be right now, career-wise?
Oh yeah.
Like on the path previously, what was your old plan that you thought you'd be at this point?
Or like, what was your childhood dream?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like it would be something, ironically, something completely opposite from this in a way. I don't know. Man, but wow, that's a great question.
Like, what were you doing before? Like, I guess you were a personal trainer already.
Yeah.
Did you see yourself always opening a studio? Were you always fitness minded?
I always knew I would open a business. Like, I think even in college, like, it's so funny thinking about like being an entrepreneur. Like, I remember telling my advisor, like, I want to own my own business. And she kind of like, it was kind of like one of those things now that I'm an adult and now I know, like, looking back at like, just sort of like the higher education of it all of like, she was like, oh shit, like he doesn't need to be going to college to be a business owner. But she was like, take some entrepreneur classes and do like be businessman. And I'm like, okay, cool. But like at that moment, she was like, oh shit, like you didn't even want to own your own business. But I do, to your point, like before that I was in fashion. I was in retail sales
very cool.
and retail management for forever. So I think if I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be like
In New
maybe
York
creating
or
a
Milan.
brand. Yeah, creating a brand or like working in fashion still or something to that effect.
See, that's
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
I'd probably say something similar. I've always been into just like creating and being creative. And so I think, and I love like fashion and getting into, kind of like, I don't know, designing things would be fun.
Yeah.
So.
I do have a question
Yeah,
now.
perfect.
Okay.
So it's a little juicy, so be honest. What do you think is the biggest just like scammy lie that's going around right now in the fitness industry? Like what do you see?
You can name several.
Yeah, you can name several.
I see these people
Give
on
us a list.
Instagram and stuff. I'm like, that's a good one.
Like what do you see? And you're
What
like,
would you
"There's
debunk
not
that is
worth it,"
popular?
Or that
Yeah.
doesn't work, or that's not good.
Okay. What's popular?
I would say what I kind of went back to with getting started in a gym, like you don't need to lift 400 pounds.
No.
You really don't. Like
And you don't
nobody.
need to work out for 2 hours.
You don't need to work out for 2
I
hours.
think that's a good one,
Yeah.
especially for guys that
Yeah.
are trying
The
to
guys,
get fit.
you're gonna do so much more damage to your joints and your bones,
Absolutely.
especially if you're just going and trying to squat 500 pounds and then not stretching,
Lot of
not
knee.
eating,
Yeah.
not recovering, not doing, doing all these things. Like you're putting that load on your body, and then just like, oh yeah, this is normal. No, like you can push yourself enough to get where you want and get the results you want without putting 500 pounds on your back.
And
It
what's
feels
the
very
longevity in that?
Yes,
it
feels
does feel performative.
performative.
Even like, I know he's a legend, but like Arnold's,
Yeah.
what he's doing now, like, I don't think he could, I don't know how agile he is.
Yeah.
He doesn't look very
What is
agile.
he doing now?
Oh, I don't know if he's, I mean, he's old, but
What is-
I just,
I
I
didn't know he was
him out.
actively doing anything.
Yeah, that's what I mean is like, it's just not like when truly,
He's
when
just
I'm
doing
80,
the bands. He's just doing the bands.
yeah, probably. When I'm 80, I truly
The
like
noodle-
want to be
the
able
noodles.
to, do similar, like probably not going crazy as I do right now, but I do want to be able, like what I'm doing now, I want to be able to set up for the rest of my life so that I can carry it with me.
Yeah.
And I think again, that just goes to like fad diets and like, doing things to look a certain way is it's so temporary and it's so like right now, even just like the TRT of it all, right? Like but how are we going to look, again, not knocking that, but like, how are we going to feel when we are 60, 70, 80? Like, yeah, we are muscular and jacked and great right now, but how are we going to feel?
Yeah, it's going to wear on your
40
tendons,
years?
wear on your joints, all that stuff.
There's a lot, exactly, and same with Ozempic. Like,
I
again,
was
if
gonna
you
say
need
And
to
on your
that's
heart,
what I
Yeah.
want to know. Like in 20 years,
What
what are we gonna see?
Yeah. This generation is so interesting because we are the guinea pigs for so
So
many,
much.
especially like cosmetic.
Because so much has
All of it.
come out in this
Yeah.
generation alone.
Yeah.
Like since the 90s, it's just been product after product after gimmick after like lifestyle after this style,
Uh-huh.
this, and it can be so.
And we become
confusing.
so influenced by
Easily.
like
easily.
I'm
if all
the
of us
worst.
like
I'll admit it.
if all of a sudden everyone was like, I really want 45-inch biceps and like 3-inch calves, like, and it was just a consensus.
sure.
It was just a consensus.
Yeah,
Like
uh-huh.
all of a sudden you'd see people in the gyms like doing all these bicep curls and just like trying to shrink their calves for no reason other than like you're being influenced by
Literally.
Okay.
social media.
So what's interesting about what you just said, I saw this TikTok, this girl was talking about how, okay, so when we talk about early 2000s, I do think there was obviously so much toxicity, and like the ideal body type that we were told from magazines was skinny, right?
Like
But-
model skin.
Yes.
Mhm.
But what was interesting is this girl saying, she's like, okay, but that almost seemed more attainable than what we were fed 10, 20 years later with, okay, well, actually, not just do you have to be slim in the waist, but you have to have a big booty. You have to have like big boobs, small waist, small legs, like bigger lips, long, like it
It
almost
requires
became,
surgery.
yeah,
100%.
exactly. So neither are healthy,
Neither are
but
yeah.
it definitely, that
I'll
like made me
step
think, I'm
right
like, oh,
into
that's
it one day.
interesting
Yeah, I'm
because
excited.
like we are right now kind of in like, I think it's calmed down a little bit, but man, 2018, 2019.
But you're right,
Yeah.
the BBLs, like that decade
Yeah.
of BBLs, and now it just got rampant. And it's like, you see a lot of bad ones out there.
It's
Like back up
dangerous.
on one, you're like,
Yeah.
that feels like foam, girl.
Okay, do you guys want to hear?
He
This
said,
is
boing.
this is kind of a funny story. I used to have a BBL,
What?
and then after my divorce, I lost all this weight, and I had gotten a BBL 2 weeks after my divorce, and so I had lost all the weight beforehand, and then what little BBL I got, lost all of that too. So yeah,
You got to keep it up, right? Because that's what they do. They grow the fat and they put it there. And then
Is it fat? Okay, I
I
didn't know.
asked
Is
my
it
doctor
injection
that.
or is it?
So they took it from like a couple areas in my body, and then so it is your fat.
Okay.
And so I asked the doctor, I was like, so do I need to work out? Should I avoid working out? Like, how does this work? And he's like, oh no, it'll be there forever. I don't know where it went. So if anyone can find it, call me.
And that's why we're talking to this person that owns the med spa on Monday. It's like just really this
That'll be
whole,
interesting.
you know, development from going from the gym to plastic, like outpatient surgery.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
everything's
Yeah.
needles, injections, everything. Like you don't need full surgery anymore. It's
Right.
all just outpatient stuff. And it's really crazy what they can do. And you know, and what is it? Is it the next evolution of us trying to be skinny, or is it us really becoming finally who we want to be?
Yeah.
Because you see the life like Barbie. She's like, I just want to be fake. I want to be a Barbie. Like that's the Ken doll. They're the same thing. They
Yeah.
want that. Like that's them. It's, and maybe it's noted in notoriety because I'm the only one like that, so people pay attention. I don't know. It is a very convoluted thing to think about. Like why? But that's really what you got to answer yourself. Why are you doing this? As long as it's for you, then you should have no problem.
Right.
But you got to stay respectful to you. You know, a lot of people get really crazy with the diets or the surgeries get extreme, you know, and then they die, you know.
Yeah.
So it's really about checking in with yourself and saying, is this aligning with me or aligning with somebody's idea of me?
Yeah, I think because like to touch on really quick, but with me, with like putting muscle on and putting weight on when I was growing up, I got bullied, like made fun of. I like nothing physical, but just made fun of all the time for how skinny I was. And so that just led me to believe that I needed to be bigger. And my brother had a lot more muscle than me. I compared myself, not for any reason other than my own, just like insecurities. And so I think I just was like, okay, well, I need to be eating literally like $4,000, probably $4,000 of food, but 4,000 calories every single day. Carbolin, which is 1,500 calories a scoop.
I can't imagine your GI, like your just processing.
I know,
all that food.
and I'm paying like my digestion these days. I'm like, well, now I gotta really be careful because I did like I ate so much, and I know you did
It's
too.
hard
Like
on your
when
body.
and so, but then it was like this like mindset shift where I'm like, I don't want to be that big. Like that's just if you want to, great, but for me, I'm like my body is just naturally leaner, and like why wouldn't I lean?
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, I'm like, why wouldn't I lean into that versus you know,
absolutely
trying to shove. I would drink liquid oatmeal like in a shaker bottle and literally drink it.
I've heard
which
some
is
bad things like
disgusting.
chicken shakes and stuff like that.
Oh,
so they
My
can just get
dad
it.
used to do that. He would,
Wait,
he
like
would
they
blend
yeah.
chicken breast and eggs.
Yeah,
and
I've heard of it.
protein.
Yeah, because they can
what?
Because there's this new study that actually confirms
what?
that your body can absorb as much protein as you give it at one sitting. That 50 gram myth is a myth. I guess if you take 100 after your workout, you'll put it to work. That's what they said.
That was gonna be the other sort of
Trend is all
trend
protein,
or fat,
everything.
protein. Like I need protein in this, I need protein in this, I need
And
protein.
you see it through our
And then you're
snacks
not
and
eating
everything.
it.
Everything's low carb,
But it
high
has
protein.
everything in it is fake, but then it has protein.
Right.
So you're like, it has 100 grams of carbs, but you're like, oh well, there's 10 grams of protein. So
Yeah. Like I'm not saying you should eat protein in your
yeah.
meals, but it should also be coming from good sources and
Well,
like
Like a
you
natural-
should,
Yeah.
you should be eating vegetables and
Whole
fiber
foods,
and
not ultra processed.
Do you know how to check if a protein is, or if a food is a high protein food on the label? So I learned from what is her name, Gabby Fit at TikTok.
Okay.
You add a 0 to the amount of protein, and if it's the same or more than the overall calories, then it's high protein, and if it's not, then it's. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I butchered that, but I'm pretty sure that's.
I'll believe it.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'll believe it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Look
believe
up
it.
Gabby Fit.
Right.
She's great with all of this, but
like people
Yeah.
wonder like, oh, why am I so bloated all the time?
Yeah.
Why am I so backed up? Why does my digestion
No, for
not
real.
grow?
Fatigue.
And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
because all I've been doing is eating processed proteins,
and not drinking enough water.
not drinking enough water.
If you
not
watch Naked and
eating
Afraid,
enough
as you know, you need a lot of water when you have protein only.
Yeah.
Or else you get backed up.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Nobody like, and then
That's
what's
right,
the
I
point?
loved it.
Like now you're just full of protein and gassy and backed up
Yeah.
and bloated.
You're not happy, and everyone around you is not happy.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think
Oh.
that's like too with micro versus macro is I think micronutrients sometimes are overlooked, like the nutrients in our
Well, the
food,
mineral
the
content,
minerals,
magnesium, like all that stuff
exactly.
is pivotal, especially
Yeah.
mental health. Now they're saying, like even creatine, magnesium,
Yeah,
was it magnesium triurinate? What I don't know.
Yeah.
the yeah.
Now that one
I
crosses the
did- I
blood-brain
started taking
barrier,
it,
and it
yeah.
helps you with mental clarity
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So it's really cool, like all these things that are like always been around us, and now we're like, hey, this is good for you. Actually, you should just do more of this,
Yeah.
not like all this crazy shit.
And like feeding your gut, right? Like gut health,
Yes.
fermented foods, probiotics,
Yes.
prebiotics,
And that's
like,
linked to the gut-brain barrier.
I was
to
gonna say
Yes.
that helps with
connection.
mental health.
Oh, for
Yes.
sure.
Shit, all
No,
starts with
serotonin
the
is
gut.
created in the gut. A
Yeah.
lot of it.
Mhm.
Well, thank you guys so much for being
Yeah.
on. This has been
Thank
so
you guys.
informative. And
This was fun.
if you live in Phoenix, make sure you check out Groundwork on 7th Street, just south of Indian School.
First class is free.
Yeah, the
Class
Mercury
free.
Building. Oh, first class free.
I'm
Come
gonna
work
be
out with
there.
them.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
be there.
Definitely, we should have a workout class kind of thing someday. Maybe we'll promote it.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a big
You guys
thing,
should, yeah. That would be
Have a whole event.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Workout.
Oh, cool. Well, until next time, thanks for joining us on the Unmask Podcast. I'm Chris,
I'm Kaylee.
and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.
I don't know why I did that.
I did
too.
At least it wasn't this. We're not peace sign, we're done.